Hello everybody, this is AG here, and it's Sprint Series night in America for the 10th week in a row already. We're already a third of the way through the season after tonight's event here from the Martinsville Speedway. 32 laps of action around the paperclip, and the shortest track on the circuit for these guys as well at 0.526 miles. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're excited for it. Join alongside Nathan Stapleton for the call of this race. And unlike last week at Bristol, where once you're out front, it's generally pretty hard to lose the race lead, here these guys overshoot the corners like crazy, and it is much more technical. What does Skylar Taylor need to do to go back-to-back here in the Wawa Sprint Series, starting on the pole in that number 45?
Well, it's going to be a lot harder for that 45 of Skylar Taylor to go back to that. Martinsville, a totally different beast of a short track than what Bristol is. And you hit the nail on the head. These guys, there's going to be a lot more mistakes from these drivers. Might hit the wall, might overshoot the corner. And that will allow drivers behind to catch up and get inside a very racy short track of Martinsville Speedway. And I think we are in for a show here for Sprint Series night in America.
We absolutely are, and of course looking forward to Friday night's STP Old Dominion 500 here from Martinsville. Friday night at 6:30 Eastern. We got to avoid the truck race, which this race will probably be better than the truck race, considering how that's been going lately. But we're excited for it, and it's going to be an excellent week of racing here at the Martinsville Speedway. And we're starting to get into the really good part of the season. We got Martinsville this week. Next week is Talladega. We got my home track of Dover, which is a lot of fun. Kansas is always a great race. We lead into Darlington, where the finale is going to be. North Wilkesboro after that. And then, of course, the Coke 600 at Charlotte. So many great races coming up here in the Wawa Sprint Series and the Wawa Cup Series, and we're all excited for it here on AG at the channel. And the point standings here in the Wawa Sprint Series coming into this race after 9 events. Jim Vincent left still the points leader, but he only has it by 9 points ahead of Sam and Oskin. Of course, Oskin starting in the 4th position for tonight's event, I should say. Won 2 weeks ago at Texas. He's definitely one of the strongest drivers out here right now. Benny Moore, 17 points behind, tied with Trey Barta. They're actually on your team, Nathan, but they switched rides from what they ran last week. Benny Moore in the 80 and Trey Barta in the 96 this week, but they're still on your team. They're tied for the 3rd place in the standings, and then Avery Alford 20 points behind coming into this one. Great season for Alford. Great season for all the guys who have made every start this season. And we are still with those 5 guys who have been in every race so far this season. Jim Vincent left, Trey Bartow, Avery Alford, Joe Rutkowski, and Cole Raymond. And speaking of 5 guys, I just had 5 guys for dinner, so we can roll that joke again and actually make more sense this time than it did last week. Go ahead and get to the starting lineup here. Skylar Taylor was the first to sign up, just ahead of Joe Rutkowski there in the 74 machine. Avery Alford is in the 75 this week. A great opportunity for him to get his first win of the season alongside Sam and Oskin there in row number 2. Angel Gutierrez in the 60 machine for Andrews Racing to the inside of Jim Vincelef. We got Philip Torres in the 85 alongside the 40 of Bruno Diacomo. And then the 80 is Benny Moore this week, and the 96 is Trey Bartow. That is opposite of what it was last week at Bristol. Cole Raymond back behind the wheel of the number 7 and the 02 machine of Roy Ribbleton. We got the 56 machine of Luna Lona to the inside of Josh Harmon, making his first career start on the channel here tonight. Priya McShane, once again in the series, in the number 4 this time around, starting to the inside of the 05 of Stephen Colon. His second start of the season and his first since the opening race at Homestead. 00 is Will Parrish. Great to see Will Parrish back behind the wheel. And Javier Vasquez in the 77, making his first career start here tonight. 01's Cameron Gaju back behind the wheel, and Mason Brown in the 33. Go ahead and get these guys to roll off here. 20 drivers in the field. Like I said, 32 laps of action. We might see a little bit more passes for the race lead, a little bit more passing for the race lead, I should say, than we did last week. Of course, we did have a pass for the race lead in the Sprint Series race, but we did not have one in the Cup race. But of the 2 short tracks, I think this is the better one in NR2003, and especially this night version. So, Nathan, with all that in mind, who do you think is going to go to victory lane here tonight in the Sprint Series at Martinsville?
Well, it's going to be absolutely chaotic as all heck, but I'm going to go with number 60, getting the job done from that 5th starting position.
Angel Gutierrez, only his second career start on the channel, but a great opportunity for him there. And Andrews Racing. But Skylar Taylor looking to go 2 in a row here in the Wawa Sprint Series. And they're going to lead us off here as we're green flag at Martinsville. And dead even there between Rutkowski and Taylor. And I'm wondering, we had a little bit of an interesting start back in there, but everyone is still rolling just fine. And Rutkowski trying to work this outside lane here on the first lap of the race. You know, that is a bit of a possibility for these guys as this race goes along and as the weekend goes along. Of course, we'll probably see that in the Cup race on Friday. But Skylar Taylor will get that inside lane to their advantage. Well, I don't know. Rutkowski's still trying there in that outside lane.
Rutkowski trying that outside lane, but Taylor gonna maybe finally take it from him, and I think he's gonna keep it in that number 45 machine. And now Rutkowski not gonna be able to get the inside lane. But the 45 going on right in 1 and 2.
Yeah, Skylar Taylor really overshot it there, and here comes Rutkowski. And Rutkowski's been in every race so far this season, but has yet to go to victory lane. Same goes for Avery Alford in the 75 right behind him. And for the race lead, Joe Rutkowski to the inside of Skylar Taylor on lap number 4. You got the 75 here of Avery Alford waiting for these guys to make a mistake, have a shot at getting that race lead. Rutkowski trying to get to the inside, and now 3 wide for the race lead. Almost 3 wide as Alford had a nose to the inside of his teammate there. Skylar Taylor really pushed it into the corner very hard. And now you got the 75. We're going to go 3 wide for the race lead. This is a 20-car race, and we're almost looking 3 wide. Alfred's going to think better of it for now, but Rutkowski overshoots. He's going to get him to Taylor, and now the 75 has an opportunity. He's going to put Rutkowski in the wall, and Ozkin gets caught up as well. Oh my goodness, the teammates in Appalachia Motorsports getting into each other there on lap number 6. The caution's gonna come out here at Martinsville, and Skylar Taylor will win the race back to the line. Angel Gutierrez in second, Philip Torres and Benny Moore now the top 4, and my goodness, Caleb Rose is not gonna be happy about that one.
They tried getting it out of that predicament, but it eventually didn't work out. And unfortunately for that entire team, both cars are destroyed, and I think Rutkowski, I don't know if he's going to make it now.
Well, he may not make it into the race on Friday. He might not get that cutoff, but I think they'll both be able to continue. They're still out there. And Ozkin, another very strong driver there, he was in a transfer position when that all occurred. You got a piece of that one as well, but they're all still in it. So it's going to be fascinating to see how they run once we get back to racing. Of course, no need for pit stops here in the Wawa Sprint Series. Once again, a 4-lap caution since we are on the short track. So we'll go ahead and let this roll through. But first, let's see what happened to bring out the caution here at Martinsville. Well, this is what happened. Going for the race lead, Joe Rutkowski and his teammate Avery Alford. Rutkowski's going to lead a lap. That's a bonus point towards the championship for him. But Alford does not let off, and that's the first time Alford's been in that Appalachia Motorsports car. Maybe a conversation between him and Caleb Rose. I'm not sure if Caleb wants him to sign up again. Hey, it's all a video game. I like to play around sometimes, but Sam and Ozkin, you know, that's a tough one for the 83 because he's going to lose some ground. He did not get back to the line as quick as some of these guys. He's going to lose some positions after he was running in the 4th position there. But an even tougher break for Alford and Rutkowski. Both of those drivers have been in every race so far this season and have yet to go to victory lane, and it looks like that might continue here tonight in Martinsville.
Here we go, 3 wide for the race lead. It unfortunately did not work out very well between teammates and holding it to the inside. Well, they saved it. But the A3 also got involved, and really they could have not had the caution fly because they did save it, but the officials decided to anyway. Tough play for Caleb Rose, especially right there, and tough play for the A3 of Ozkin. That's short track race, and unfortunately, a lot of carnage into turn number 1.
Yeah, well, we'll get a reset here. Great opportunity for Angel Gutierrez in the 60 to have an opportunity, his first career win and only his 2nd ever start. Won't count out Philip Torres or Benny Moore, though. I mean, Torres, I know he's itching to get that first win as well. And Benny Moore, one of the strongest guys this season. It's going to be an interesting restart. Let's get to it here at Martinsville. And we're back here at the Martinsville Speedway. And what a race it has already been. We were 3 wide for the race lead, and it did not go Caleb Rose's way there for Appalachian Motorsports, as both Joe Rutkowski and Avery Alford got into it, but they are both still in the race, as are all 20 drivers who started this event. They're led by Skylar Taylor in the 45, going to go back-to-back. Angel Gutierrez in the second, Philip Torres, Benny Moore, and Trey Bartow, the top 5, back underway with 21 laps to go in the Wawa Sprint Series at Martinsville. And Bartow. Now, I'm sure you don't want to see the same thing happen to your team here, but NS Racing battling each other as Gutierrez trying to get a run to the inside here. Trying to hang with that 45 of Skylar Taylor, get his first career win, get Andrews Racing their first win of the season in either the Sprint Series or the Cup Series. They have not had a good run so far this season as Bartow moves to the inside of Benny Moore there for the 4th position.
I do not want to see that to happen between my NS Racing cars.
Oh, but it just did. And Bartow just put Benny Moore on the outside wall, and the caution's back out again. Second yellow flag of the night. And it looks like it may have been Bruno Diacomo in the 40. Going to come back around here. But not even halfway through this race and already 2 cautions. These guys, these Sprint Series guys, they just seem edgier than the Cup guys somehow. We had 1 caution for cause in the Wawa Cup Series race on Saturday. And we had 1 caution at Bristol for these guys. But they weren't slamming the outside wall like they were in the Sprint Series and the Cup race. And we kept everything the same, by the way. So, interesting thing there. Diacomo in the 40, we'll see. I don't think he's going to go a lap down, but somebody went around somewhere. And we'll just have to see how that all went down. So let's go ahead and see what happened to bring up the second caution of the night here. The Wawa Sprint Series at Martinsville. We went 8 races without a caution, and we've had 3 cautions in the last 2 races. That's just short track racing for you. Let's get to the replay and see what happened to bring out the second caution of the night. Well, in terms of Bruno Diacomo, I think he actually was penalized on the restart. As Nathan was explaining to me, I think he went out of line and crossed somebody before they crossed the start-finish line, which is why he came down the pit lane. He was already down the pit lane at this moment when Luna Lona in the 56 decided to send Joe Rutkowski around. Man, Rutkowski has not had a good night at all. He was battling for the race lead, got taken out by his teammate, and now he's at the back of the field here at Martinsville. And yet again, I think another accident, like you mentioned, Nathan, that probably could have avoided a yellow flag, but they still called it anyway. And we're under our second caution here in the Wawa Sprint Series at Martinsville.
Off of turn number 2, I feel bad for Joe Rutkowski. Once again, none of his own doing. Luna Lona just dive-bombed him into turn number 3. I don't know what that was all about. Once again, that could have not been for a caution, but Joe Rutkowski, from being in the lead, led by his teammate, now led again by a dive bomb. I feel bad for Joe Rutkowski at this point, and the night's not even over for him.
The good thing is, that actually saved Bruno Diacomo from going a lap down, I think, because the caution came out before he was lapped, and he's going to stay on the lead lap, but he's just going to go to the back of the field there in the number 40. He actually advanced on to the Cup race last week at Bristol. I don't think he's going to do that this week at Martinsville, but hey, stranger things have happened. We'll have to see how it all goes down. Get to the restart. Skylar Taylor still out front here in Martinsville on the Wawa Sprint Series. We're back here at the Martinsville Speedway for the second restart of the night here in the Wawa Sprint Series at Martinsville. 2 cautions in this race so far, and we're just past halfway here in this 32-lap event. Skylar Taylor, Angel Gutierrez, Philip Torres, Trey Bartow, and Avery Alford. And at 4th place is the bubble for the transfer on to the STP Old Dominion 500 in the Cup Series. And I know these guys are going to be battling for it hard. And Gutierrez, though, is going to be battling for this win very hard. We'll have to see if he can get around this 45 as Bartow, a man on a mission right there. He's going to go for 3rd on Philip Torres.
As they're 3 right all the way in the back, as Ball is going to try to send it and move the 85 up towards out of the way. Talk about the short shot up and 1.
Good run there for Bartow, but he's going to overshoot the corner right there. Alford on Philip Torres there for the 4th position. And that right there is the transfer position. Skylar Taylor still holding on to the race lead as somebody had an issue and came down the pit lane. I think it was Giacomo again. And Joe Rutkowski still majorly off the pace. He's got a boatload of issues in that 74. He's going to come down the pit lane, but we remain green here at Martinsville. So we'll get to the replay of all that occurred right there between those guys once we get to it. Of course, you guys have already seen that. But we'll figure out what happened on our end later on. How about Skylar Taylor looking to go 2 in a row here? The 0-2 is down the pit lane. Roy Ribbleton also with issues here in this one. And there's been some action in the back of the field here. Mason Brown also with damage. Not entirely sure what all occurred back in there, but 74 Joe Rutkowski is officially out of the race now. And it's not been his night after almost taking the race lead earlier on.
Yeah, Rutkowski a bad night. At least involved in 2, maybe 3 incidents here, and finally decided to call it quits. But how about Bo? Not being biased or anything, Bo in this night just might be on a move to the front here. All the way past to us for 3rd, and now might pass his number 60 for 2nd here.
He's got it. This 96 might be one of the fastest cars on the racetrack right now. 2nd fastest lap of the race. Getting a little tight there with Gutierrez, though, in the 60. But he's going to have an opportunity to get around Skylar Taylor for this race win. And Bartow is another guy who has been in every race this season who has yet to go to victory lane. As a matter of fact, of the 5 guys who have been in every race this season, only Jim Vincent-Leff has gone the victory lane. Bartow, though, under fire from Gutierrez and Philip Torres, and they're 3 wide as the 85's going to make it 3 wide for 2nd. What a move there out of Philip Torres. I know he keeps on talking about pushing this car for Hairgel. Well, he's doing that now, but he's got to be careful not to get him doing it with Gutierrez there in the 60. Oh, he's going to go wide. Gutierrez and Bartow go wide, and here comes Benny Moore trying to get back to the inside of Bartow, and Skylar Taylor's loving this. Looking to go back-to-back here on the short tracks as well in that 45 machine for Trinity River Racing. But Philip Torres in the 85 is going to have an opportunity here. He has cleared Gutierrez and Bartow, and now Bartow is under fire from his teammate Benny Moore for that last transfer spot. And don't look now, here comes the points leader, Jim Vincent-Leff. My goodness, these guys they're just going so hard into the corners. It's unbelievable how aggressive these guys are. And Gutierrez might try to get 2nd back away from Torres. Not going to quite get it yet. And they're running out of time to catch up to this 45 for the race lead. 4 laps to go for Skylar Taylor here at Martinsville.
The 4 laps to go is looking really, really good for Skylar Taylor to go back on the short tracks here. And here comes the point leader in that 07 to the inside. Bo, no, Bo's going to get to the inside. And now, this might be fairly unfortunate for me because it might be the battle between NS Racing teammates for the last transfer spot. Unless my 2 cars can somehow get the 60 out of the way and get both of them in. But now, the 80 is in, the 96 is out with coming to 2 laps to go.
Well, I guess Bartow's wishing he didn't swap rides this week. 80 machine might be a bit faster. Chris Bartow just got shoved out of line there. Hey, don't look now. Philip Torres is closing in on Skylar Taylor and majorly closing in here. He's going to give it all he's got for this race win, but it's the white flag here in Martinsville for the Wawa Sprint Series. That 85's going to have a chance. White flag for Skylar Taylor. Will he get it done? Torres is going to dive it in deep here in turn number 1. And if he's close enough going into turn number 3, he might have a shot here for this race win. Looks like Gutierrez and Benny Moore are going to advance on. Skylar Taylor is a little wide there, but he's not going to overshoot it enough. And Taylor's going to win it here in Martinsville with Philip Torres, Angel Gutierrez, and Benny Moore advancing on to the STP Old Dominion 500 on Friday night. And they're going to have some more Martinsville fun once we get down to it in just under 2 days. Tough break there for Trey Bartow, just missing out, but a good point stay again for Bartow, trying to keep it going and have an opportunity to get going for the championship here. Jim Vincent left a good run for him. Avery Alford in 7th. Hey, Stephen Colon, didn't even mention Stephen in this race. He finished 8th. Brian McShane and then Sam Onoskin rounds out the top 10. You know, there was so much going on in the back of the field that we never actually got an opportunity to really go back, or there's so much going on in the front of the field, excuse me, that we never really got an opportunity to go into the back of the field and see what was going on back in there. Obviously, you guys saw what happened between Joe Rutkowski, Bruno Diacomo, Roy Ribbleton, all those guys in the back of that second caution. This was only a 2-caution race. It actually felt like we had a third one there, but a lot of stuff going on. But Skylar Taylor, once again, dominant on the short track, and a lot of it goes down to just getting that pole position in the signups. And it was milliseconds apart between Skylar Taylor and Joe Rutkowski for that pole position, and look at the results they ended up with. Taylor wins the race, Rutkowski finishes dead last. And that's just how close it was, and sometimes, there's a bit of a discrepancy there because it is just so close, but on my end, officially, Skylar Taylor was ahead of Joe Rutkowski. But Nathan, this was just 32 laps at Martinsville. We're going to have 125 laps here on Friday night. How the heck are these guys going to get around it without wrecking all the time?
This Martinsville, this is a fantastic racetrack, and if that was a precursor of what we'll see on Friday night, then we're in for a heck of a show. Because from my first experience here for the Trade Radio Cup Series race, that was one heck of a race, and that was one heck of a Sprint Series race. I'm looking forward to the Cup race for 125 laps. To Mr. Barlow, I'm so sorry about not getting in, but good points today, and once again, the NS Racing car makes it from the Sprint Series. I don't know how, but we keep on doing it.
You guys got a good team there. You're adjusting those ratings right there. It's working out for the Sprint Series. Of course, your Cup team needs a little work. I'm not sure what they're going to do on Friday night. Hey, you see the starting lineup for the STP Old Dominion 500, and I don't know how it all goes right now because we've got to record anything for that race, but you guys know it right now, and going to be interesting to see how that all goes down. And unlike Bristol, there will not be a competition caution. I am, however, planning on turning off collisions under the caution and on the pit lane because these guys tend to jam up here, but no competition caution, just how it always normally is, and that field run's going to be right about halfway. It's going to be a fascinating race on Friday night here in the Wawa Cup Series. But Skylar Taylor made it fascinating here tonight. Philip Torres made it fascinating. And how about Angel Gutierrez, only his second ever start? He's going to be in the Cup Series race on Friday night as well. And, of course, Benny Moore, who's been one of the stronger drivers this season here in the Sprint Series, going to join them as well. I mean, heck, Skylar Taylor's been one of the stronger guys here in the Wawa Sprint Series as well, and good runs for all those guys, and it's going to get very interesting here in the Wawa Sprint Series points. We're now halfway through the regular season. 10 more races to go before the cutoff, where the top 10 drivers in points lock their rides for the last 10 races and go for the championship here in the Wawa Sprint Series. And I will say, too, whoever wins the Wawa Sprint Series championship will get a reserve for the Cup Series next year. Assuming we do a Cup Series next year, I think we're going to go ahead and do that. I've been having a heck of a lot of fun with this year, and lots at stake for these guys, going forward into 2024 if they win this championship here in the Wawa Sprint Series, and it's going to be fascinating to see how it all goes down. Hey, with all that being said, we got sign-ups for Talladega at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time right here on AG the channel. That one's going to be fun. I don't think where you start's going to mean quite as much for that race as it has the past couple of weeks, but hey, still going to want to sign up early on and get those rides in because Talladega go to anybody, and all these guys can have a good opportunity over there. Huge thanks to Nathan Stapleton for joining me here from Martinsville. You'll hear him on Friday night as well. And here are the point standings for the Wawa Sprint Series after 10 races. Congratulations to Skylar Taylor on their second straight win here in the Wawa Sprint Series. Only the second driver to win 2 races so far this year. And that's all I got here on this Wednesday night from Martinsville. Thank you guys so much for watching once again, and I will see you guys later.